So you're a business owner, you're taxed as an S-Corp, and you want to understand, do I pay self-employment taxes as an S-Corp owner? How does this whole tax thing work now? I'm so glad you asked. I'm Dr. Alex Engar, your Profit Doc, and today we're going to give you a level of understanding that you have never had before around taxes in a simple to understand way with what I call caveman level pictures. So let's dive in. Today I'm going to show you the 3 kinds of taxes that you pay as a business owner and how switching to an S-Corp is saving you so much on one of those. Next, we're going to give a deep dive on how self-employment taxes work for an S-Corp owner. Probably heard all these people tell you, you have to go become an S-Corp, but you have no clue why. Well, you'll know by the end of this video. And then I'm going to show you how to pay as little as legally possible in self-employment taxes. You're going to want to stick around. Let's dive in. All right, so there are 3 different kinds of taxes you pay as a business owner. You should check out our other videos on taxes because we go really deep into understanding how personal versus business taxes work. But I'll just tell you there are these 3 taxes as an individual that you're paying, even if you're an S-Corp owner. The first one is federal income tax. These are the tax brackets that we all know and love, or maybe we don't love so much. But this is where you're saying, you know, if I've earned this much money, then I pay something like 22% on that top bracket of taxes. Now, they call them brackets because there's a certain portion of your money that is taxed at a lower rate. That first 10%, for example, here. And then there's a next level and a next level. And then that top level at 22% is where we're calling it a 22% tax bracket. So you're not taxed at 22% on all your money, just on that top portion of it. A lot of people don't understand that. That's tax number 1. Tax number 2 is state income taxes. They all vary, but they go from somewhere in the ballpark of 3% on up to maybe around 12 to 13% in states like California and Massachusetts, okay? State income taxes. Finally, we have self-employment taxes. This is 15.3% of all the profit in your business. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, wait, Alex, what am I paying this on? Well, you should see our other videos for deeper treatments of this, but essentially you're paying this on the profit in your business. So let's dive into this self-employment tax thing now for S-Corp business owners because things start to change here and they get really fun. Okay, so now let's look at how you're taxed if you're not an S-Corp, and then we're gonna see how you are taxed as an S-Corp, and you'll notice the big difference here. So let's imagine this is you, this is your LLC, okay? You're not an S-Corp yet, we're just a simple LLC. Well, we have some profit in the business, right? Our profit and loss statement shows that, and here all of that profit passes up to you, the individual, and you have to pay federal income taxes, state income taxes, and self-employment taxes on all of that. So let's say we're in the 22% tax bracket here, the 3% here, and the 15.3% here. That's 25 and 15. We're going to call it 40%. Now, there's plenty that will drop that down. There's business write-offs, there's personal tax deductions, and all sorts of things. But we might expect to be somewhere around 40% of our income here if we're in a high enough tax bracket. Now, that doesn't sound very fun. So how does this work now as an S-Corp? What's the difference? Let's go look at it in the other direction. Which, by the way, before I get there, if you're liking this video and you want to see this next level stuff more frequently, will you just hit that like button for us? That would be amazing. Okay, so now how do things work as an S-Corp? Well, now all of a sudden, instead of the government saying you get all of your income here as a self-employed individual, as an S-Corp owner, or if you run an LLC taxed as an S-Corp, you're telling the government that you would like to be taxed in 2 different ways. First, as an employee of your business, because you are doing work for your business. So as an employee, you get to pay all these same taxes. You still have to pay federal income tax, you still pay state income tax, and you still pay self-employment tax. Let me show you how. You get a W-2 salary if you are an employee of any other business. And so as an employee of your business, you also have to take W-2 salary, right? So on this, we're still paying all of these, so we'll call this our 40% still. Now you might be saying, well, Alex, I don't see self-employment tax on my W-2 form. Yeah, you're paying your fair share of Social Security and Medicare, but your business is also paying that side of things. So you're still paying self-employment tax really through W-2. But then the government says, you know what? We recognize that you are also an owner of your business and that you get to take some of that profit by simply owning the business just as if you owned stock in another business. So here's the magical thing. You have your W-2 salary that we're still paying the 40%, but then we get paid a second way as an owner. We get to take what are called owner distributions. It's usually a simple bank-to-bank transfer when you're actually moving the money, or you can cut yourself a check if you really want. So we're still paying federal income tax here. We're still paying state income tax, but we do not have any self-employment tax. So instead of this 15.3% being added on here to make 40%, we only have 22 and 3. Now we're making something like a 25% tax payment here. This saves us a whole ton of money on self-employment taxes. So to answer your question, do S-Corp owners pay self-employment tax? Yes, on whatever portion of their money is paid as W-2 salary, but not on their owner distributions. So how do we decide how much you get to take through W-2 salary versus through owner's distributions? Because you might be thinking, this is great, I'll pay myself minimum wage over here on the W-2 side and take it all as owner distributions so I get all the savings. Wrong. That would flag the IRS to audit you and they would probably slap you with some penalties when they did. Instead, we want to sit down with your CPA and tell them, you know, I made this much profit last year and I'm expecting to make this much profit this year. How much do you think I should take through W-2 salary? I'll tell you the average range is somewhere between 30 and 50% of your total compensation needs to come through W-2. The rest can come through owner's distribution. Let's take an example here for just a minute and pretend like 50% of your money is going to come through W-2 salary. And let's imagine that we have 100K of total owner compensation to split up. Okay, 50K of it is going to come through here. The other 50 is going to come through here through owner's distributions. Now let's look at the tax savings in an example like this. On 50K, we would be paying 15.3% of self-employment tax if we were a normal LLC, didn't have this great S-Corp thing going on. So how much would I save on that 50K? Well, 15.3% of 50K is going to put us somewhere around $7,000 of tax savings. $7,000 just by changing how I am taxed. That is totally worth it, and that is why you might want to consider becoming an S-Corp once you hit somewhere north of $75,000 of profit in your business. Now, you need to make this decision with a qualified tax advisor. They'll sit down with you, they'll look at your profit, and they'll talk you through the different things that matter when you're making this decision, because there are some hoops you need to jump through as an S-Corp. Okay, if this stuff was good and juicy and you're like, I love this, but I want to understand it at a deeper level, and I want to make sure that I can avoid all the tax mistakes that you might have mentioned in here, and there's a bunch of others. In fact, we have an entire top 10 tax tips for what things you need to look out for and what things to avoid in taxes as a business owner. And if you click the link below, I'll give you that entire checklist along with our deep dive tax workshop completely free. Click the link below, go check out the workshop, and we'll see you on there.